Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. It does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty, and the host of the program. Now, Barb, most people assume that buyers are willing to pay top dollar for homes, even if they have not been updated. What's the truth? What are some home improvements that can help sellers make the most money when they do sell a house?
Well, Richard, the buyers have gotten very picky now because they can. There's more homes on the market. There's more choices for them. Homes are not flying off the shelf like they used to a couple years ago. And so, in general, though, if the home is priced right and you can get the buyer in the door, because keep in mind, your very first showing is on the internet. So, if they don't like what they see on the internet, it doesn't look like the best buy for them. They are not going to be bothered to spend their gas money or leave their fuzzy bunny slippers to come take a look at that house. It's just not going to happen. So, it has to be priced right to begin with, it has to be marketed right to begin with. But sometimes, even like we just had one that we sold where it was cosmetically challenged. I will admit it. It had some things, it had some dramatic paint, sparkle black paint on the cabinets. Somebody that really shouldn't have had a paintbrush in their hands uh, got a hold of that house and made a mess. And the sellers, what that wasn't the seller who was doing the painting. It was a friend while they were away. So they created this mess, and the seller, didn't want to spend too much money to sell it. So we did price it very realistically, well below market value. And they did just the basics just to get it sold. They took care of flooring, any peeling paint, any broken windows, all the basics, so it could get any type of financing. But they did not paint the sparkle black cabinets or correct the paint in the master closet that painted black paint around the shelves so you could see the white mark in between the shelves. No, that didn't get corrected, but the home was priced below market. And to be honest, I was shocked that we didn't get more offers than we did. And the feedback was, oh, it needs too much work. And I'm like, really? Do these agents not know that this home is priced at least 20% below market value? Most people can handle a paintbrush, right? They could just get in there and slap some paint, make it look good, and walk in the door with substantial equity. But honestly, I think there's a lot of people out there that, agents in particular, that don't really study that, right? They're just kind of overpaid door openers that go, oh, do you like the house? Okay, I make an offer, maybe make some commission. That's pretty much what's going on. And if they were good, they would say, hey, this is a really good buy. If you can paint, you're walking in the door with equity. In fact, the brother of that seller bought homes like that during the meltdown that just needed a little bit of cosmetic, but were priced and available at really good deals. So some minor improvements definitely can go a long way and can get you as much as 11%. So it absolutely is worth it to do some updates, but that doesn't mean you have to do a full-on um, update of the home. Unless you're in the much higher price points, it's not really necessary. And that's part of what we do. We give our sellers a free in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get their house ready for sale. So we go over all the closing costs. We show them what we could do to help them get top market dollar when they sell their home, and just give them tips on what not to do. I mean, I heard some crazy ideas from home sellers like, well, should we, put in a tankless water heater? No, the buyers aren't going to pay for that. So it really matters. Um, so when you're updating, you want to update in a very neutral manner. Like, I see a lot of people, especially in this market, that like dramatic paint in their bedrooms or maybe in their living room. They put blues or greens or whatever. I've seen Bronco orange. I've seen the whole thing. But when you sell a home, you don't want this dramatic paint because it is just paint is enough for a buyer to turn their nose up at the house. I had one a couple years back that was kind of the end of the boom in the market. And I had one on the market that was neutral paint, relatively same house. And then my partner had one on the market, similar price point, but it had things like a mauve or pink colored accent wall. It also had a turquoise colored accent wall. So the months go by, they lowered the price, it's still not selling. My partner came to me and said, "What are we doing wrong?" And I said, "It's just paint, just neutralize those walls." So as soon as he did that, boom, it sold for full price. So it's amazing how buyers don't want to do any kind of work like that. So updating with neutral paint is really important. Same with neutral flooring. Something that you could do that's relatively inexpensive is if you have wood paneling, like in a lower family room, like those older 70s homes, if you paint that kind of a creamy white or a bright white, that's actually in style now as long as it's white. But if it's the dark, kind of walnut or oaky looking color, that actually dates the home. So it just takes a paintbrush to fix these things. The other thing that's a big issue is curb appeal. So buyers will typically, if they like what they see online, the next step for them is they're going to drive by and see if they like what it looks like on the outside, kind of check out what the neighborhood looks like. And curb appeal is absolutely critical. If they don't like the outside, you can't get them in the door. And there's a lot of almost subliminal visual clues that will indicate whether or not the home seller is taking good care of the house. Is the landscaping neat and tidy? I know in the winter and the off season it's kind of hard to take care of that, but you could give it a haircut, freshen up the mulch beds, fix that broken doorbell, please. Those plastic doorbells that always fall apart in this weather, and correct any peeling paint. Sometimes it's just little stuff like that that can really make the difference. And a great backyard is critical. It's the top picture besides curb appeal that buyers look at. They want to know that if they have a backyard that they can enjoy and appreciate or entertain on that looks good to them. So that's an important room as well. Once they get in the home, things like if the decks need painting or staining, um, sometimes that will be an issue when you're getting financing, like if you get FHA or VA financing, even though the paint might be newer paint, they will always ask for any peeling paint on the outside to be corrected. So it's good to get ahead of that if you can. I know right now with weather going on and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to make that happen, but just be ready for it if it does happen once you get a contract. And in general, buyers can forgive some things, but not flooring. Typically, flooring is a no-go for most buyers, and they will pay exponentially less if they make an offer at all. If your flooring is tired and old looking, things like where you can visibly see carpet with visible traffic areas. I had a home this year, January, beautiful house, great views. They had replaced the carpet in the basement, but not on the main level. And when the house had furniture in there, you couldn't really tell that the carpet was looking pretty tired, but they moved out in the middle of the process before we got a contract. And so it vacated the rooms. So the traffic areas on the carpet jumped out. It also jumps out in pictures in camera. So even though we had virtually staged it to make it look good, when the buyers got in the house, they're like, oh, it needs too much work. So sellers came back. They corrected that. We actually put furniture in so it would show well, and boom, right away it sold for full price. So sometimes it's just minor stuff that might just cost a few $1,000s that'll make a difference. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about are some important home improvements that will actually add value to your home. When we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of interior rooms that are really important to attract buyers. Kitchens and baths, one of my favorite topics. And if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719 301 3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
We're talking about homes and what you need to do to get the very best price out of them. Barb, bathrooms, there's a lot to cover there. What are some of the rules of thumb for bathrooms?
Well, in general, sometimes you can update a bathroom just with light fixtures and plumbing fixtures. But some things that really, really date a bathroom, and this was done a lot in builder grade homes all around the area. These builders, because it was cheaper, is they would put carpet on the master bathroom floors, sometimes on the main bath floors, because it was a little bit cheaper than running vinyl or tile or something like that. But I can tell you it's an automatic turnoff for a buyer. And it doesn't cost very much to fix that. You can go down and actually get these little laminate remnants and fill a space like that. I had a client do that about a year ago, and she sold her house for 50,000 over asking with a massive bidding war. And she had carpet in her master bath. She went down and got some remnants of luxury vinyl, had it installed. It was only a few $100s and it looked amazing. Rules of thumb for bathrooms, it has to be clean. Think timeless in colors, update the plumbing fixtures. Another thing that's out of style might be overmount sinks, but that doesn't mean change out the sinks solely because it is that way. Sometimes you can use companies that will spray this polyurethane. I had one client that had the clamshell shaped sinks that were pink, which really dated the home. And so all we did, we didn't change the sink. I just had them bring in this service that puts this polyurethane coating on it that was white and it looked fresh and new. And that one had a bidding war that sold for, I think, 75,000 over asking. Kitchen's kind of similar. You want to make sure everything's cleared off the counters. Please put away the dish towels. Put away everything except for the coffee pot. If you have oak colored cabinets and you have some skills, you could paint it. A good color is called Dover white. And you want to use a gel type paint so it looks like it fills in the grain. Update your door hardware. Even I can do that. And I'm kind of scary with the screwdriver in my hand. And in general, if possible, make the color of your appliances match. Like if you have a beige or a bisque color dishwasher and a stainless steel refrigerator and stainless steel stove, it looks wrong. And sometimes you can fix that very inexpensively. Another thing that's not too expensive that updates your flooring would be something called luxury vinyl. It's a good product. It's waterproof. It's not too pricey. It's not as pricey as, say, tile itself. And sometimes updating the kitchens and baths, it doesn't have to be a full remodel. It just has to be enough to make it look fresh and move-in ready. So if you are thinking of making a move, this is what we do. We help people figure out what to do and what not to do to get their house ready for sale. We even bring in an interior designer by a trade, not a real estate agent, that goes room by room by room by room and gives you a checklist on what to do so you know exactly how to approach photo day so that you command the most buyers in your home, which would result in the most money when you sell your home. And we actually have buyers, cash buyers, that if you have some repairs that have to be done and you don't have it in your budget, they will fund the cost of the repairs for you. Those are great deals. So give me a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can reach Barb at 719-301-3900. When we come back, we're going to be discussing what are the biggest red flags on a home inspection when you're selling a house here in Colorado.